Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the accuracy of this Palmetto 7.5 inch barrel. This is a 5.56 caliber. Okay, let me talk to you about what the accuracy is. Let's talk about the actual numbers, and then I'll fill in the backstory with some interesting details. So the best group that I got, and I only got it one time, at 100 yards was 2 inches. Okay, it was a 2-inch group, which was very surprising to me. Now I was not able to repeat this group. Okay, I was able to repeat 2.5 inches quite a few times. Right, so 2.5 inches there, 2.5 inches there. So I'm gonna disregard the 2-inch group. I'm gonna call that luck, because sometimes you can just like blindly throw some bullets at a target, and you can have like 2 or 3 of them that are touching, right? It doesn't mean that the gun is that accurate. It just means that you got lucky. There's a random chance of things happening sometimes. But I was able to repeat the 2.5 inches. So for now, I'm gonna call this a 2.5 inch barrel at 100 yards, so it's a 2.5 MOA, with the potential to get down to 2 inches. Okay, I'd have to see that 2-inch group a couple of times before I feel confident saying that it can hit 2 inches. Now, I'm going to say this, that a lot of the groups that I hit were coming in at 3 inches, 3.5 inches. Now, this time of year, there's a lot of wind. Today's not as windy. I was testing this over 3 days. Okay, some days were a little bit windier than others. Today's not a very windy day, but you can see by the wind ribbons here, there still are 5-mile-per-hour winds that pick up occasionally. The wind's an issue. But the ammunition I was using, by the way, was the PMC X-Tac. Decent ammo. Some people said that this is like a super ammo. It'll give you bullets that are touching. I haven't seen bullets that are touching, but it's good ammo. I'm getting nice groups. I've shot this on a couple of different rifles. I thought it would be a good ammo to test this out. So let's talk to you guys a little bit about the backstory on this. First of all, why is there not a brace on this? All right, why is there no brace on this? Well, here's the thing. Originally I had this SB4 brace on it, and I was hitting a lot of those 3.5 inch groups, and I said, you know what, maybe that brace is the issue. Maybe that's bothering me. Okay, so what I did is I took off the SB4 brace, right, and I put something else on it, and I'm not going to tell you guys what I put on it. Maybe I put nothing on it, right? Maybe I just was using the buffer tube, right? Because I don't think the ATF says that you can't shoot this. I don't think there's any rule that says you can't shoulder the buffer tube. So if I wanted to, I could actually put that on my forehead. 223 5.56 has got like almost no recoil, so you could actually put this on your forehead, and the recoil, wouldn't crack your skull open. It might give you a headache. So I'm not gonna say how I shot this. But let's just say that I shot it without the brace, and that's when I started hitting these consistent 2.5 inch groups. Okay, so I was right to speculate that maybe there was maybe there was an issue with the brace going on there. Something for you guys to keep in mind if you're shooting these AR pistols and you're not getting the groups that you want. It might be the brace that's a little uncomfortable for you. But anyway, let's put this back on there. This goes on really easy, right? What you gotta do is pull this down a little bit, and there it goes, and that goes in there. And let's do this. Let's take off the magnifier, because magnifier really doesn't belong on a gun this small. Only reason the magnifier was on there was simply for testing it. And that's the nice thing about the magnifiers. Easy on, easy off. You're not committed to having the magnifier on the gun. This can kind of go from gun to gun, so you can do your accuracy test. So this is a great tool, very useful. Okay, so this is basically where I want to be with this gun over here. By the way, I use the 20-round magazine so that when I bench it, it doesn't hit the table. Okay, so anyway, let's talk a little bit about why I bought this Palmetto 7.5-inch barrel, because I did have. See, here's the thing: I'm not a big believer in short barrels. My main problem with them is that they're really loud. Okay, and I do have a linear compensator on this. That's basically like a blast diverter. It sends more of the noise downrange. It makes it a little bit more comfortable to shoot, because if you don't have that on there, it's extremely loud. Even with the ear protection, if you shoot enough, you'll start getting a headache. That blast diffuser, the blast diverter or linear comp, to some extent can even sound a little bit louder because it's sending all the noise downrange, but what you're getting back is an echo, so you get more of an echo back. So the noise is kind of elongated. So instead of it being like a really loud bang, right, it's more like a boom, because the noise is more focused, and then basically it hits the berms and then it bounces back, so it kind of elongates the noise. You get a bit of an echo. So that's an interesting observation I have made. But one thing I know for sure is that this gun is a pain in. I mean, it's just extremely uncomfortable to shoot without a linear comp. Even with the linear comp, it's still really loud. If you shoot enough, if you try to shoot like 200 rounds, you're probably going to get a headache. If you shoot this at night, you get a tremendous muzzle flash. So that as you're shooting it, okay, as it's going boom, 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 the flash is actually blinding. You actually lose sight of your target for a split second, and you lose your reticle, right? Your red dot, you lose that. And if you're shooting fast enough, like all you're gonna see is like a wall of white in front of you. So that's one of the reasons why I'm not a big fan of these short-barreled AR pistols. Although they feel great in the hand, right? This feels like, wow, this is the perfect gun to be moving around with. For the reasons that I said of noise and flash, they're not my favorite guns to shoot. They're more my favorite guns to hold and look at. Okay, so yeah, that's how I feel about these. So here's the thing: I had one, right? So this is a Radical 7.5-inch. I bought this, I think, back in like 2015. That was the year that Hillary was going to win, and basically, there was a big rush to buy guns because we thought they were going to ban all the ARs. So there was a big buying rush, and basically the companies were like rushing to get as many of them out as possible. And back in 2015, the quality control did suffer a little bit because of this big rush. Okay, so here's the thing: when I bought this, I've done previous reviews on this on the Radical on this Radical. AR pistol. By the way, the lower is still Radical. So basically, this upper was originally on this lower. The thing is, the best groups I could get with this were about 6 inches. Okay, and this also has a linear comp on it. That's the Spitfire. It's a lot. It kind of flares out. I really like I said, I wasn't a big fan of the 7.5-inch barrels. So I really wasn't in the rush to go buy another one. But the thing that really got to me is, every time I would pick this up to shoot it, try to get a group out of this, I kept coming in at 6 inches, and 6 inches was a struggle, okay? So sometimes the groups will come in at 8 inches or more, and my curiosity started eating at me. I wanted to know if the reason for this was because of the short barrel. All right, is it because in that 7.5 inches, the bullet doesn't have enough velocity to stabilize? Is that the reason, or was this just a bad barrel that I bought in a bad year? Now I have many other Radicals, and all the others are very accurate guns. They all shoot 2 inches or better at 100 yards. So I was wondering if this just happened to be a bad barrel, or if it was just a thing with 7.5-inch barrels that they're just not accurate. I didn't know the answer to that. So finally, my curiosity got the better of me. I got on Palmetto's website, and I ordered this 7.5-inch upper. It came with a standard flash hider, Okay, and then this is the Kaw Valley Precision Linear Comp. Okay, so what I did is before I put the linear comp on there, I said, you know what, let's see how accurate the rifle is before and after. This way I wanted to see if the linear comp had any effect on this, right? In the past, I had never really tested it out. So took a whole bunch of shots. It was a somewhat windy day. And basically I was getting, I think the best groups I was hitting was about 3 inches. And I said, fine, you know what, on a 7.5-inch barrel, I can live with 3 inches, okay? So what I did is, then I took the rail off, wrapped the end of the barrel here in a towel, put it in the vise, got the bird cage out, off, put the linear comp on, and then again, I said, okay, let's see what type of groups I'm getting here. And my groups actually opened up, right? I started shooting, like, instead of getting the 3 inches, I was getting 4 inches, 4.5 inches, and I started thinking to myself, well, maybe this linear comp is what's affecting the accuracy. Now, the one thing I noticed for sure, absolute, no question about it, when I put that linear comp on there, at 50 yards, my point of impact dropped by a foot. Okay, initially, I tried it at 100 yards, and bullets were impacting about 2 feet low. So the linear comp definitely made the bullets drop. Okay, so that's fine. That wasn't the first time I've heard of this. People that put suppressors on rifles also say their point of impact shifts. So I re-zeroed the gun, and went back out to 100 yards, and I'm shooting like 3 and 4 inch groups. I'm like, what's going on? I mean, did the linear comp, did it throw off the groupings that much? Why can't I get back to 3 inches? So I said to myself, you know what? I've done a lot of shooting today. It's close to the end of the day at this point. Maybe I'm just tired. Maybe the wind picked up a little bit. So I said, you know what? We're going to try this another day. So same deal. I came back another day, doing the same thing. The groups I'm shooting a little bit better. But now I think the best groupings I'm getting is 3.5 inches to 4 inches. So it's still not as good as the best group I originally got. So I said, you know what? Maybe maybe the linear comp does affect the accuracy a little bit. I mean, I'm satisfied that it changed the point of impact, but now we're just talking about the accuracy, like how tight are the groups. So then I said, you know what? Maybe it's the brace that's on here, right? Maybe the brace is just not comfortable enough for me, because when you put the brace on, the brace doesn't come back as far. It doesn't, when you try to take a sniper hold, you can't quite get your hands in the same position. So maybe it's the brace. So again, I'm not going to say what I did, right? But I, using some alternative method of stabilizing the gun, okay, I saw that, hey, I took a couple of shots and I saw the group starting to tighten up a little bit. At that point, it was still, now, I've done a lot of shooting, end of the day. I said, you know what, we're going to come back on another day. We're going to try this out. And this time I'm going to start off fresh with this alternative stabilizing method. And that's today. So I come in today, and basically I'm hitting like 2.5 inch groups off the bat. They weren't all 2.5 inches. Some of them opened up to 3 inches, but they're all now coming in at that ballpark, right? They're all like, I've got enough groups at 2.5 inches that I can say that this 7.5 inch barrel, is a 2.5 MOA barrel, okay? With 7.5 inches. And like I said, I'm gonna disregard the 2 inch group because I only was able to get one, and maybe that was just a luck. Maybe I'll try this again later on sometime. When the weather's a little bit nicer. If I can get a couple more consistent hits at 2 inches. Hey, we'll call it 2 inches at that point. But right now, I'm just going to stick with 2.5 inches, which is fine. On a 7.5 inch barrel, that's mostly intended, for inside 100 yards. This is, I'm really satisfied with this accuracy, and I have satisfied my curiosity as far as what the deal is, with this barrel. Basically, I just got a bad barrel. It doesn't even have a high round count on it. It's probably got less than 1,000 rounds on it. But there's just this barrel. There's an issue with the barrel. Now, when I was testing that out, I did have a stock on it. Maybe at some point I'll go back and I'll test it with an alternative stabilizing method. it's almost at 6 to 8 inches with the brace. So you know, it might improve a little bit, but I think it's still going to be out there as far as, you know, I think it's just a bad barrel that I got stuck with, which is not a big deal. I mean, you know, it happens. But like I said, I've gotten many other, I own many Radicals. They got plenty of them that come in at 2 inches or better. I own many Palmettos. Same deal with Palmetto. I got lots of them that come in at 2 inches or better. But I was really curious to know what the 7.5 inch was going to do, because I only had really one other barrel to compare it to. And I had tried somebody else's 7.5 inch. And again, I didn't get a whole lot of shooting with that. So I was starting to feel that, hey, maybe, you know, because when I shot it, the groups weren't great, but I wasn't also, again, I wasn't shooting under ideal circumstances or the best circumstances. But now I'm satisfied. I mean, I've seen 2.5. I've got 2.5 inch groups here. I think I've hit it 3 times. I got one here. That's at 2 inches. So I'm happy with the, you know, I feel confident in saying that a 7.5 inch barrel can get, you know, can consistently get 3 inches or better. Okay. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's like I said, it took me about 3 days to come to this determination. You know, just because, again, some days the weather wasn't cooperating. There was a little, you know, trial and error for me to kind of figure out what's going to be the best way to get this gun to shoot the most accurate that it can shoot. So drop some comments below. Let me know if you guys enjoyed the video. And make sure you're subscribed to my other channels, because this channel here, the Tafa channel, already has 2 strikes on it. Pocono Shooting has 2 strikes. So I've got another channel called Absolute Guns. That's a clean channel. Go get yourself subscribed there. And also find me on Rumble and Odyssey. Odyssey is great because I've been able to get almost all my videos transferred over there. So that's a good backup channel. And the streaming's pretty good over there too. So thanks for watching. Drop some comments. I'll talk to you all soon.